Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel. Today I'm going to make an experience, a different video, and I hope this will work out. If this works, you will be seeing the video. If it doesn't, I don't think I will post it. This is a pen that I showed you yesterday, and this is the Kaweco Supra. This is one of the Kaweco Supra, one of the two Kaweco Supra I received from Kaweco, and this one had a little problem with the nib. The nib is slightly bent. I don't know if it was in the transportation. I believe it was, because all the pieces, because this is metal and they are not strongly screwed in place, just not to leave any marks for the final user. Maybe these were rattling all the way, and even the nib unit that unscrews, I think all has been rattling, and then the tip of the nib hit several times the interior of the cap. That's my explanation. Not sure if it was. So I had this. I immediately contacted Kaweco, and Kaweco said, of course, we will send you a new nib as soon as possible. But now, because this is the Easter period and there is also the problem with the coronavirus infection, they have their offices closed for a couple of weeks. So they will not be able to send me a new unit right away. That is why I decided, okay, but if they are sending, why can't I try to straight this nib? This is something I didn't try before, so let's see if it works. An additional remark that I have to make. I've showed the pen with these because I want to be really honest with you about what happens with the pens that I receive. This is a pen that I received for review, so it should be all okay, but sometimes this kind of accidents happen, as they happen when you buy a pen directly, not if you receive it for free. I asked Kaweco and they immediately said they would send me a new nib unit. That would happen with any one of us or of you that would buy a pen from them. They have an excellent customer care and they will contact you back and they will make sure you'll get happy out of your purchase. So, what do I think I need? First thing, we need to check the initial condition of the nib. And please bear with me because I'm not very used to do this, less even in camera, so it will be an experience to me, and let's see. So you'll need the pen. I want to show you the initial part, the initial stage, and then the loop to be sure we can check it all. So I think you can see the tip of the nib is slightly bent, not much, but what happens is that the tip is bent to one side and it is also much more together than it should be. So the tips are like this, touching together in that way. So what we want to do is to increase that gap and straighten them up, or both at the same time. I don't really know which is the better, but I think you can see that there the nib is bent and the tines are too close to each other on the end. So first we saw these. What I have here, they're not really working tools for real. It's what I found around. I have this is an anvil that I have. It is a jeweler's anvil. I don't do anything of jewelry, but one day I thought, okay, I've seen anvils in cartoons in TV when I was little, and several characters got an anvil on their heads, and I thought one day I'll have a small one. And one day I bought a very small one for me. It is usually on my desk with papers beneath, just to hold some papers. But now sometimes I find it is a good strong surface. Now, what I want to do is to have the nib forced into a surface to try to bend it the other side and eventually straighten it. But I will not do it in a very hard surface. That's why I glued with some gaffer's tape Japanese chopstick, because there I will be able to make some pressure in a strong surface, but it's not a metal one, so it is a little bit softer than if I would do it on metal. The other thing that I think need is this. I will need something to space the tines of the nib, and I think these little metal pieces will work. I'm not sure, so just follow me and I will guide you through the process, and let's see if it works. And I may receive lots of criticism because I'm doing things the wrong way, but let's see. So I have these little things. Maybe I'll do a pen tip video about how I got these little metal stripes, which are very useful, especially for cleaning the feeds or the nib. Sometimes there is some paper fibers that are caught into the nib slit, and it's sometimes good to clean them, or sometimes on the fins or on the channels of the feed. So some people would take these out of the pen, just unscrew these nib section. I don't think I will do it. I think it will be easier to work with all the pen together, but let's try and see what we can do. So first, let me see if I can show you all on camera. It will not be easy. The lighting of this kind of setup is not easy also. Let me try to change it a little bit for less reflection, but I'm just trying. So I think I have everything here what I need, and let's start. And so, as I told you, the first thing that I want to do is to straighten, not the first thing, it is the last thing actually. I want to straighten the tines. So the first thing, now this is really the first that I want to do, is to have some space between the tines. And I'm going to try to insert, and doing this on video it will be very difficult. I'll try to insert two of these little metal pieces in the nib slit. Okay, one is there, and let's go for the other one. And I have a tripod with a moving arm that allows me to be in a better position. However, because I have a smaller tripod here on the left, this is really a very difficult setup to work with, to go all around all these, the lights and everything, but I will try to do it. So let's see. The nib is now with those metal spacers in the slit, and now I want to bend these in the right way. As you may see, the nib is bent. Let me try to show you with the loop. Okay, it is bent to the right, and I need to bend it the other side. So let's try and hope everything goes well. If it doesn't, don't worry, because eventually when Kavek will be able to do it, they will post me a new nib. So we want to move it to the left, so we need to put the nib on the the right side and press it that way. So what I'm going to do is to put the nib like this, to hold it in this side gently, try to put the thumb there on the feed, and I will try to force it a little bit into the wooden chopstick. Maybe these 5 times that I did. And then what we need to do is to check it again. Okay, the feed is a little bit out of alignment. It is understandable because I'm pressing it, but there's no problem. We just do this and it all goes back to the place. But we need to do some more. Okay, I'm just trying to do this a couple of times of each time. Now let's take the spacers and check how this is going. And it's not looking good yet. So I think for now the spacers don't help, and let's try to do it again. Maybe to try to make it easier, I removed the nib unit from the section, but it is not being easy. So the next thing, I put the nib here again, and I'll try to remove the nib and see how if it is easier to work just on the nib. Okay, so we have the feed and nib. What I used was just this piece of rubber, and here we have the nib. And the good thing would to be able to straighten this, and let's see if I can do it now. Let's try it again. I'm not 100% sure if anything already happened. Overall, what we need to do is to be very, very careful when doing anything like this, because the risk of ruining everything is big, I would say. So, I think that since I removed the nib from the nib unit, this is so hard to focus. I will try to focus there directly without the loop. I think it is a little bit straighter. I think the band is not that visible anymore. So I think we are on the good way. But I guess now the tines are too close together. And yes, they are, but look. Sorry, this is very hard to do on camera, but I'm trying. Maybe next time I'll do a better one, although I prefer that there wouldn't be any next time. It means that no nib would need this kind of repair. You see, I think that the tip is already quite straight, which is good. You see, it is out of alignment, yes, but you don't see, at least I don't see it very bent. I will just give it a little extra movement there, like this, and now what I need to do is try to widen the gap of the nib, and I'll try to insert these things. Yes, it is a little tight on the end. Let's put another one. Let's see how many of these can I put just to widen the gap. I'm not sure how thick these little things are. I don't have a way to measure it. And these were handmade, and I will make a pen tip video about this just to show you. Okay, this will allow me to do this. You see, the nib slit is open because it's forced now, and I will try to force it a little bit one side to the other side. And what I'm doing is I hold the nib like this and I push the metal strips to one side, and then I do the same for the other side. And again, twice for this side, twice for the other side. Maybe this is not much, but I don't feel very comfortable to make very drastic movements. I'm afraid of ruining something. And let's see. I think it is a little better. Maybe still a little bit bent to the other side, but let's see the top of the nib. It doesn't look that bad. Okay, I think this went all the way I could go with it. So what happens now is that the tines are slightly misaligned, so I need to align them. And while doing that, with the thumbnails, I'll have to push these higher. I will try also to widen the gap between them. One way to do it is pressing the nib like this on your thumbnail and try to force it upwards a little bit, and this will eventually open the gap between the tines. Maybe it is better. I'm not completely sure. Now, I will just... This will be a very long video. I don't know if this is worth it. You're just following my baby steps on this. So I will put the nib together and then dip it on ink or in ink and try to see how it performs. And now the nib is back on its place, and let's see how it will or not write. I have here a bottle of my old faithful Parker Quink. Let's dip the pen on ink. I will not fill it because just to check if the nib is aligned and if the ink is flowing, this is enough. Okay, I should have cleaned this before because it's writing too wide. Okay. The pen is really smooth, so I'm quite happy, I would say. However, I think it is a little bit too wet for me. I would prefer it to be a little less wet, so let's see if I can do it. What I will do now, let me just clean this a little bit first, then I will do the inverse movement that I made before. I will put it there, I'll put it here, maybe on the tape, and then I will press the feed down to point the nib also down and to make it tighter on the space between the tines. And let's check it again. And this is the Caveco Supra. Okay, it writes really well. You can hear some noise on the paper, but it is not really scratchy or anything. It's quite smooth. I think I aligned it very well, and now it's writing. Now anymore because I wasted all the ink, but I think it's good to go. Let's just do one more dip into the ink and check it. Kaveco Supra. So, I could say this is how you do to straighten a nib. I'm not sure if that's what you should do. What I did, just like just a closing briefing of what I did. What I did was first to examine the initial situation. I saw this was out of alignment, so I tried to put some metal sheets beneath the tines to widen the gap, while trying to bend the nib back in its shape. I couldn't do that. I had to remove the metal sheets. I had to remove the nib collar and eventually to remove the nib from the nib collar. Then I could do the alignment of the tines, and then what happened it was that they were too close together. So what I did after that was to put 3 of these little metal pieces in the nib slit. With those pieces in place, I was able to try to force the gap a little bit open. After that, what I did was to bend the nib a little bit upwards to enhance a little bit the slit again, and it writes, I would say, quite well as expected. As an F nib, it is smooth. And I also aligned the tines in the final, but they were pretty aligned. I think I just needed to give them a final twist. So I would say that the nib is okay now, good to go, good as new, and that's it. I think Kaveco will send me a new nib anyway, but I think it was instructive for you to see how I managed. It couldn't be that. It could have gone very wrong, but I was lucky. This way you could see how I managed to work on the nib that was bent and put it back together and perfectly fit and tuned to write. It was a very easy fix. I lost some time, but to do these kind of things, we need to lose some time. So, this is all for today. The pen is writing really well. I'll have to test it further with an ink cartridge and not with just dipping, because dipping all the pens will write well, almost. And just check this very beautiful nib. It is a number 6 nib, my first number 6 Kaveco nib. Let me do something that's to have the nib full of ink and you can see the details. This is a beautiful nib and now it works. So I thank you for watching. I will still decide if I will publish this or not, because this is I don't know if this is a real useful video, but I'll check it, and if you are seeing it, that's because I decided to publish it. So this is all for today. I thank you all for watching. I don't have room to write properly thank you, but I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you soon. So, bye.